Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. I'm back here in my oak savanna restoration project, and I plan to burn this oats today. But today was going to be the perfect day. It's been dry for a few days and nice and warm and sunny. But then, out of the blue, they added early showers today to the forecast. I think they added them as it was raining. Not in the forecast for a week, but then they popped it in there. So it rained a little bit this morning, and I don't know if it's going to dry out enough to burn or not. But I do see that there's a beer can and garbage can, lid. So everything blew away in that last storm. And this is actually my daughter's job to get these out of here, but I'll have to do it. So I'm going to get these garbage cans out of here. I'm going to have to wait. I don't know how long I can wait because my daughter has a track meet and it is, maybe 45 minutes to an hour away. And that is at 4 o'clock. So maybe I can burn this at noon. I don't really know. I have that patch of green foxtail right there, a large patch on the other side of the barn there of just mixed everything, but it's mostly real big heavy duty blackberries and raspberries. Then I have the other oats right over by the large walnut tree right there. I have a giant patch of foxtail down at the very end of the property, and I have oats down there as well. All these oats are cover crops where it's going to be planted this summer. This will all be little blue stem, big blue stem, Indian grass, and several others started here. Well, I'll be planting late June. It's all warm season grasses, so you plant it later than you do like turf grasses or cool season grasses. So my plans for today are kind of jacked up. So what I think I'm going to do to start with, I'll probably pull out the Husqvarna brush whacker and whack down the raspberries that are right on the other side of the barn where I'm going to burn. That'll get everything more compact, closer to the ground, so it burns better. And then anything that tries to come up in that area, I have to kill back. That area is also getting a road. We're going to be building the wood shop here this summer. Again, we have new plans on that. It started out, I was going to do a container, but that would be incredibly limiting as to what I can get done in a container. I could do it, and if we had a much smaller space to work with, I would probably just make that work. But we also want to be able to store some of the like the tractors and stuff like that in the back corner. So then we switched to a Shelter Logic shelter, a large 24 by 32 shelter, and the more you think about that, the less attractive that is, because I have to attach a lot of stuff to the walls, and you can't attach to the walls in there. So I would have to make temporary walls, which is more time, more expense. And they raised the prices on the Shelter Logic shelter that we were looking at by like 50%. So now it's just out of the question. So now we're building a basic building, and It's possible I'll just put tar paper on the side for a year. If the budget runs out, we're not going to spend more than we have. And, you know, as long as it has a good roof. We had tar paper on. We had a little shanty right here for 7 years that we made out of the scrap from building the house. And we pieced together a floor, did all that stuff, and it had leftover shingles on it. And that lasted for 7 years, and it was still working. And that had tar paper on it. So you can see that's the other area that will need to be burned. I really should burn this too, but, you know, having the propane tank there complicates things. And we're going to have this dozed. You know, the majority of this is going to get dozed, so probably not a good idea. You know, it took me years to establish this flocks, and now it's just going to be, you know, it's going to be dozed. Oh well. Yeah, all this stuff has to go. The building is going to come up to, oh, probably right here, and then that's going to be dozed, like, you know, back beyond them bushes. So the bushes are going to end up, maybe we'll be able to transplant them. I don't know. That's a lilac, and that's a, oh, I forget the variety. That's a lilac as well, but it blooms a month later. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to save them. So this is much drier because this is fluffier. It's not laid down flat like them oats are. So maybe I'll be able to just hack this and then burn this right away. And then that other patch of foxtail down at the end of the land, maybe burn that second and just make my way around as stuff dries out. So let me cut down all these brambles and then see if I can get this lit up. Okay, I'm about ready to cut this barn area, and I just wanted to show you, this stuff here is mostly blackberry and raspberry bramble, but you can see interspersed in here is just a ton of trees. That's how this whole area got started, and this was cut probably 2 years ago. So what you have is a whole forest of this stuff within, 10 years. And then in, say, 30 years or so, most of this stuff's already dying. So it's just a weed tree. Up north, they just let this stuff grow, and then they make it into paper and chipboard and stuff, but I have no such plans. So what I'm going to do is hack this stuff out with the brush whacker here. Hack it, try to stack it a little bit maybe, and then I'm going to try to burn it. If it doesn't burn, I'll just come back and do it another day, but I'll give her a shot. It looks fluffy enough, and we got a breeze coming through, so it might burn. Breeze is coming from the northwest, so I'll have to light the pile over here so that it's going into the wind. You never want to light it with the wind at your back, because then you can start a massive fire. You want it to fight the wind. Well, until it burns part way, and then you can light the head fire, and they'll meet in the middle. But I better get started. This is too wet. You could see the wet layer of leaves right below the grass here. It's just, this whole thing would burn, but it would just burn this very light layer of leaves on top, and I want a hotter fire than that. So this is gonna have to hold off. We got rain tomorrow, but I think we have like 4 days without rain coming up, so it'll have to be burned at the end of that. Let it dry out good. I don't know if any of this other stuff is gonna burn either. I'm gonna go check the foxtail down at the end of the road. If that doesn't want to burn, I'm going to start making a pile back in there that can be burned later as well, or burned today. That might be dry because it's trees and branches and stuff that have been sitting for a year. So let's go down to the end of the road and see what that looks like. Okay, this is a different situation. This is mostly foxtail in here. You can see this is I think this is reseeding from the vineyard here. But in this case, I'm just going to take the torch to this and burn whatever I can. I'm not going to let it dry because that's foxtail growing up amongst the dried out stuff, and I want to get rid of the foxtail. Foxtail is you could call it an invasive species. It was brought here on purpose. Foxtail is a millet, and I believe this was brought here for growing seed for birds or whatever. But what I'm going to try to do is get rid of what I can by burning, and then I'm going to have to spray this with glyphosate, Roundup, and take out whatever I can. Well, it needs to all be died back. I need bare ground here. That stump is coming out this year, and this old drainage trench is going to be filled in. While our contractor's here doing some dozing work up by the house there for our new buildings, or our addition and our new building, we are going to have them do as much as we can elsewhere, and that includes right here. This old drainage ditch, I dug this by hand all the way up from that pipe up there. Well, I put the pipe in too. I dug this all by hand, and really it was just a V groove, so the water made it as big as what it is, and I think it's like 3 feet deep along here. It could use some rock in it right now. I'll have to talk to the township. Yeah, way up towards the pipe, it's probably 3 feet deep. It's 1.5 foot right over here. So this is all just from water digging it out more for me, but it's as deep as it needs to be, and we really need to fix it now. But anyways, I'm going to burn this out, kill what's here, and then he's going to come in and fill that old trench in and just put a gentle V groove here that, will catch the water and take it down. There's pipes down there that it can go through and take it out into the woods so it doesn't cross the road anywhere. But here in the vineyard, I need to be able to go down the rows and then turn around and go back up. I have no headspace down here because this is so tight. And it was designed, the headspace comes to here. So this is just an old artifact that needs to be gotten rid of, and this all smoothed out and tractor friendly. Well, and people friendly too. This, it's real easy to fall in this ditch in the summer when the grass is hiding it, or in the winter when it's full of snow. If you pull up over here and walk through there, good chance you're gonna twist an ankle. So I'm gonna burn what I can and then spray some glyphosate. It really needs to be done all the way down but I really don't know how much time I have today. I don't know if I mentioned, but my daughter has a track meet tonight in town, in a bigger town north of us, so I have to knock off early, get ready for that, blah blah blah. And then I have the day job as well that I have to take care of. You know, jump on the computer, check my emails, write some emails, this, that, and the other thing. So I'm gonna start doing some torching here, and I have a little bit of glyphosate with me that I was doing some touch-up stuff with. If I don't have enough, I'll have to go make some more and just knock this down before it gets too big. It takes way less glyphosate to spray it when it's down at ground level like this than when you got giant plants. Then you gotta, well, you just don't want it to get to that point. So I think I'm gonna start right there. Okay. Yeah, this ground is just way too mushy to get anything burned correctly. And it's doing the top layer, but nothing underneath. So I'm gonna have to switch up what I'm doing. Well, today has been a day of false starts. I mean, it seems like everything I've tried to do today is running into problems. At least I got that stuff cut down and it's ready, but when it's gonna be dry enough to burn, hell if I know. I also have to burn this stuff, and like I said, that stuff down there, but it's too muddy down there to work on right now. It's not like hard to describe. It's just soft enough ground so when you're on that steep of a hill, you slide a bit down, and it's not the most stable environment to work on. So I'm gonna have to hold off on that too, which leads me to this little mini shithole here. When I burn this needs to be gone, but this needs to be gone regardless. I was gonna do this at the end of the year last year, and I just got caught by the snow and it didn't happen. Same thing with this stuff. These buckets need to go back behind the shed. That cooler was going to go up in the barn, and it ended up there without getting put away. This needs to go in here so I can mix up some soil. I have to pot some stuff pretty soon. Everything here needs to go somewhere else, including this. This needs to be sold. And we really got to get to that. Put this on Craigslist or something. These are nice machines, but it's not something we really need. We thought we would need it, but yeah, now it's got a flat tire. I'm sure that just needs air, but I'll have to fill that tire, move this, and put it on Craigslist. It's a nice little manure spreader, but again, we just don't need it. This pile of landscaping timbers and blocking and stuff, some of it needs to be burned, some needs to go behind the shed. All of this galvanized wire and stuff needs to go behind the shed. That's our new junkyard, and that needs to be straightened up and cleaned up back there as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do. If I can get it done in, let me see what time it is. Oh, that's probably going to run into the end of my day. I was thinking if I got it done early enough, I might be able to burn maybe that one up there, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be dry enough today. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this whole thing cleaned out. We're getting a new tank, a larger tank. We started out with this little tiny one because that's really all we needed. When we first built the house, we had a contract with this place where they couldn't automatically fill it because we didn't know if we would have the the money depending on our jobs. Again, we're self-employed and we were just starting out at the time, so you know, it was a whole different situation from now. So what we need is a bigger tank, and we need a place to put it that is not there. We're going to doze a straight line from the back of the barn. We're going to cut this whole corner off here, and that's in the way. So is the toilet. So this whole area needs to be cleaned the hell up. I still have the stuff from the shower. I should do that today as well. I saved all the treated stuff. The rest of it was already burnt or is in the burn pile. The stuff that I'm saving all needs to go back behind the shed as well and stacked up. It's all treated stuff, and I use it for cribbing and whatever. And if it ever starts to be punky, then I'll just burn it. So whatever the case is, all this stuff needs to get the hell out of here, because we are putting a road in that will come from the workshop here. It's going to come right through here and go up to the main road, so we can go right through either way. And then a small gravel road that's going to go right through where that tree is over to the pasture over here. And I'd like to put in a small tent area over by the rock for the littles when they come, if they want to camp out. So lots of stuff is going on here, and most of it's this summer coming up soon. So I think that's what I'll do today. I will clean up shit until I'm out of time. Okay, that about does it. It's as far as I can get. I think I got everything out of there on the other side. You'll see that in another video. But I noticed here that that's the pipe right there. That pipe is what goes across the door at the bottom. From the door moving back and forth, it wears out the plastic pretty damn quick. This has only been set up, 2 springs ago, and we have already gone through 2 doors on the back, or 2 ends on the back, and now this one's shot. Both ends are shot right now. I'm really tempted. I mean, we have a new skin on it, so I'm thinking once we have the wood shop set up, most of the stuff that's in here that can't get wet is wood. I'm thinking we might just take the ends off and leave them off and just park the lawnmowers in here. That's my thinking right now, and possibly put some of the, I don't know, some stuff we don't want too rusted. I mean, that'll keep it out of the weather, which is all it really needs. It just needs a roof over its head. If a little rain gets in there, we'll have the more expensive stuff in the middle. And I think everything should be fine that way. I don't want to buy any more ends. And, actually, I think we have an end or 2, but it's a lot of work to put them on. And then it's just going to rip again as soon as you have a windy day. So, yeah, I think that's what we're going to end up doing. Just take the ends off and leave them off. Once we're able to get that lumber out of there, because that lumber's got to remain dry. I got some really expensive stuff mixed in with the lumber, so until I can get that out of there, we'll leave it the way it is. But anyways, all done. Got my landscape timbers here. These are getting towards the end of their life. They don't really dip these things very well, so they don't last very long. This stuff's kind of a mess because it allowed the grass to grow through it, but this should rot out. And then it's just got rocks stuck to it because of the grass, which should just drop the hell out of there at some point. Little stairway that used to go to the shower, I might stick that into the side of the hill, put a step or 2 and then have that the last couple steps. I come this way to get to the pasture quite a bit. Nobody else does, but that'll give me a little boost, especially when it's wet. This is kind of a dangerous little area. Well, that's going to wrap it up. I got to get the hell out of here. I have a track meet to see tonight, and I need to get ready for that. So make sure you subscribe and click on that update icon, and a like would be wonderful as well. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.